Lemmy Kilmister quotes to guide you to your best life. Lemmy, English rock musician, 1945 to 2015. Don't forget subscribe. Good manners don't cost nothing. Falling in love is terrible. It makes you act foolish, like an idiot. I'm not afraid of death. How can you be afraid of something that's inevitable? In your 20s, you think you are immortal. In your 30s, you hope you are immortal. I don't want to advise anyone to do anything, apart from try and stay alive. That's my advice. Don't die. Everyone gets depressed. But what do? You just go through it. You learn all the best stuff in life after you leave school. It's much more fun to be full of hope than pessimism any day of the week. In 1967, I had my first black girlfriend, and a lot more ever since then. I just don't understand racism. I never thought it was an option. As a roadie for the Jimi Hendrix Experience, I learned that I should give up being the guitar player. Rock and roll's had a good time out of me, and I've had a very good time out of rock and roll. The hippie era was a wonderful time because we still believed we could make the world a better place. Elvis inspired my sideburns, but Little Richard inspired me for vocals. I've always been alone. I grew up alone. I like it that way. Even when I'm in an arena surrounded by 10,000 people, I'm alone in my head. I was in the Rockin' Vikers, which was the first British band to tour behind the Iron Curtain. A lot of photos were taken of us next to milk churns. You can't plan your life. It doesn't work. I always write about war, love, death, and injustice. There's plenty of that around, so I never run out of ideas. As for what other people think of me, I don't care. I don't care and never have. It's when you get to 60 when everything starts to go pear-shaped. Everyone thinks that becoming an older guy is easy, but you never consider it fully. It comes as quite a shock. We was living in squats in Battersea when we started with Motorhead, and we lived with the Hells Angels in this flat. They were always around. I hate golf. I still can't believe Alice Cooper plays golf. I like hard, aggressive music. I didn't really want to be in the lifestyle without the music, and I didn't want to be in the music without the lifestyle. Got 2 kids. One's a record producer who lives just up the road from me. Great guitarist and piano player too. The Beatles were from Liverpool. It's a hard town. The Stones weren't the hard men. They just dressed up. The Beatles were the hard men. People don't become better when they're dead. You just talk about them as if they are. I've always been very wordy. I've got a great vocabulary. Eddie Cochran. I never got to see him live, but he could play. Him and Buddy Holly. They were the best guitarists. They could get a good raunchy beat going. It just seems like we get more popular every 8 years or so. For some reason, it becomes cool to like Motorhead again. I don't know. I've always written songs that are mainly about attitude, not me personally. The thing about death is it's so final, isn't it, really? As far as we know, nobody has ever come back and told us about it. Oh, I listen to a lot of the blues. I love the blues. You know, Slim Harpo, people like that, and Sonny Boy Williamson. cold pizza is a perfect breakfast, with lots of salt. I was never going to be a doctor or a lawyer, so being a musician seemed to be the best of what was on offer. All my dreams came true. There's not many people that can say that. I mean, most people have to work in a job they hate all their lives, and I can't imagine that. I always open doors for women. It's just good manners. The more you learn about everything, the more you learn that everything's fixed, not in your favor. I always wanted to be able to show off like the guitar players do. I think I managed that all right. I never liked jazz or anything else. Early rock and roll, that was music to me. Everything else was boring. I don't really have the voice for love songs, do I? I don't really admire musicianship per se, as is obvious from my own playing. I've never met a girl who could stop me looking at all the others. If I did, I'd marry her. I saw the Beatles play the Cavern in Liverpool when I was 16. They had attitude. On stage, they were like a four-headed monster. I do quite like that Andrew Lloyd Webber song from Cats. What's it called? Memory. Sends shivers up your spine. Rock and roll sounded like music from another planet. The first time around, we had people like Elvis, Little Richard, Chuck Berry, Jerry Lee Lewis, all them people. Everything I hear influences me. I can't tell you all my influences as a musician. There's no point thinking about dying because it's going to happen anyway, isn't it? I don't waste my time worrying about that. The Beatles are the classical music of rock and roll is far more widespread than classical will ever be. I wasn't very worried about the Cold War. I was busy being a musician. Bomber was the first song I wrote about war. Thanks for watching. Don't forget subscribe.